Today, I'm sharing my 7-step method to grow your audience and your income on TikTok. But if you want to get the viral views and the followers and to make money from your TikTok videos, then you have to start with the end in mind. Which means that before you ever post a video, you need to sit down and think about who is this content for and what problem am I trying to solve with my videos? Which is really just a fancy way of saying, like, what do you want to be known for? If you don't take the time to figure this out, you will never break out of the 200 view jail. No one will follow you, and you certainly won't be able to monetize your TikTok account. There's 2 reasons for this. First, if you aren't clear on what your content is about, you will confuse the algorithm. And the algorithm is a smart robot, but it's also a really dumb robot. You see, when you post about a lot of different things, the algorithm has no idea who to show your content to. And because of that, it actually shows your content to the wrong people that aren't interested in your content. And if they're not interested, that means they're swiping away on your video and you're getting very low watch time, which is a problem because watch time is the #1 factor that determines whether you get big views and go viral on TikTok. But when you consistently create content about a specific topic that's aimed at your ideal viewer, you're actually training the algorithm to show your content to the perfect person every single time, and that is going to skyrocket your views. The other reason is that if you're not clear about what you want to be known for and who your content is created for, then you're not going to get followers. When somebody discovers you for the first time and they watch your video and they love your content, you want them to be able to find more of that content to give them a reason to keep coming back. And another part of that is that after they watch one of your videos and they go to your account, it should be very clear from your bio and everything else on your profile what you're about and how you can help them, so that way they have a reason to follow you. That's why step number 2 is to optimize your profile. That's why a lot of times when a creator finally starts to get some traction, they start to get views, they get past that 200 view jail, maybe have their first viral video or 2, and they're still not getting as many followers as they would expect to get based on the number of likes on their video or how many views that they're getting. And a big reason for that is that their profile just sucks. And usually they're just making one of 2 mistakes. Either they're making everything in their profile about them and who they are and what they've achieved with their brand instead of making it about the viewer and how you can help the viewer and the problem that you're going to help them solve so they can get whatever result is that they want. Like, you have to make it about them, not about you. And sometimes it's just vague. The more specific you can make your profile speak to the person, the ideal client, or the ideal viewer that you want for your account, the more likely they are going to be to follow you. Now, keep in mind, like, that's not all of it. When you're first starting out, it is going to take you a lot longer to get followers when you don't have very many. The reality is people are going to be more likely to follow you when you have more followers already, because it gives you this level of authority. Like,
oh, hey, this person only has 3 followers. They must not be very good.
Or,
hey, they have 300,000 followers. Like, they're already popular. I'm going to hit follow.
They're much more likely to tap that button as your following grows. And this is why, like, it took me about a month to get my first 1,000 followers on TikTok, but then it snowballed after that. And I was able to go from 1,000 to about 10,000 in around 2 weeks. It's just so much easier to get followers once you actually have some followers. Now, there are actually a few useful settings that you can set up on your account that, like, take minutes and are actually going to help you get more viewers and more followers. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go up to these 3 lines in the top right and go down to settings and privacy, and then you're going to click account. And you can see here on mine, it says switch to business account. And what that means is that I'm currently using a creator account, which is the default type of account here on TikTok. And that's what you want. So if it says switch to business, that's saying like, hey, if you click this button, it will switch you to a business account. Now, you want a creator account even if you are a business owner like me. And the reason for this is because creator accounts are able to use commercial sounds, and commercial sounds are used a lot inside of trends. And so if you are able to use those commercial sounds and take advantage of the trends, you're going to be able to ride that wave to get like a bonus push to your video to make it more likely to go viral. Now, the key thing to keep in mind here is that a creator account will not have a link in bio until you hit 1,000 followers, but that's okay, because you ain't selling anything until you have 1,000 followers anyway. The next thing that you want to do is you want to go back to your settings and you want to click on privacy. Now, make sure that you don't have it set to a private account. You don't want to have a private account where nobody can see your content. You want your content to get discovered, so you want that to be toggled off. But this 3rd item here, suggest your account to others. You're going to want to click on that, and you want to toggle off all of these things. This is very important. Our goal with our account is to find people that are interested in the things that we are talking about. And the reality is, the people that you went to high school with, that are friends with you on Facebook, or your mom or your grandma or your buddies, whatever it is, those people are not your ideal client or your ideal viewer. And so we don't want our content to get suggested to them where they might like give it a like to help us out, but then they're not actually watching the video and we're not getting the watch time. Or worse, they are watching the video and it's signaling to the algorithm that like, hey, this is the kind of person I want you to show my content to. And then they start showing your content to the wrong people. So by turning these settings off, we are forcing the algorithm to be a good robot that goes out and hunts for the best people to watch our videos instead of being a bad, lazy robot that just shows all your stuff to grandma. Now that we have the foundational stuff done, we need to talk about like posting best practices. This is step 3. You need to start posting, and I want to start with like, how often should you be publishing a video? Now, this may be controversial and it may be counter to what the TikTok gurus are telling you, but I believe that quality content posted less frequently is going to get you better results and faster growth than a quantity of content that you just spam as frequently as you can every day. As Mr. Beast put it,
it's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 50,000 views on 100 videos.
Now, obviously, Mr. Beast is talking about YouTube, but the same thing applies on TikTok. But here is the thing that you need to understand about quality. Quality content is developed through publishing quantity. You need to put in the reps. You need to get the practice. You need to learn what quality content is. And the more you practice creating content and seeing what is working on your account, the better understanding of what quality is you will have. So how often should you post? I recommend that you post at least once per day on TikTok. Doing this will not only give you plenty of feedback and data about what type of content is actually working, but it will also help you to build that momentum and create that consistency habit that you need in order to be successful in the long term as a creator. Now, if you don't feel like you're able to post every single day on TikTok, then you need to do one of two things. You either need to make TikTok a bigger priority in your day-to-day life and set aside the time for it, or you need to change your style or the way that you post or the amount of editing that you do to make it easier to get the job done and post every single day. Once per day is the standard here on TikTok, and that's more important than you creating the best, most overproduced piece of content out there, at least until you're an established creator and you've figured out what actually works. The other side of producing quality content is step number 4, doing the research. When y'all comment on my videos and I go look at your TikTok accounts, it's very clear to me that most of y'all are posting whatever you damn please and aren't actually going and doing the research because you aren't using the topics and trends that are working right now in your industry. And I know that because I work with a lot of clients across a lot of different niches on TikTok. And so I see what's working right now. And when I look at your account, you aren't doing it. The reality is that the quality of your idea and the hook and the headline that you use in your videos is way more important and has a bigger impact on your ability to get views and go viral and get followers than any hashtags that you choose or what you do in the description or any other hack that you are focusing on because you heard some guru say, you need to do this thing. Early on, when you don't have your own successful videos, you need to be studying other creators in your niche and you need to look for their outlier videos, the ones that are getting way more views than they normally get on their account. You need to study those videos to figure out what are the topics, what are the hooks, what are the content formats that they are using that are working right now. And if this video was a guide on like how to grow on YouTube, that would be like a common sense thing because the culture of YouTube is to do the research. Small YouTubers know that they need to use a tool to go look up the keywords that have high volume and low competition, and they know to go study the bigger creators in their niche to see the content that are outliers and they're performing really well, so that way they're not reinventing the wheel. They're instead using their weekly video to be more successful because it's based off of a proven video. And I know you guys have seen those videos too, because when I look at my analytics here on YouTube about the other content that you guys are watching, you're not just watching TikTok tutorials, you're watching YouTube tutorials too. So that same advice applies to TikTok as well. Unfortunately, the culture on TikTok is like,
hey, I can post 3 to 5 times a day and post whatever I want, and if I post enough, I'm gonna go viral because everybody goes viral on TikTok.
And even though it's easier to go viral and grow an audience on TikTok than any other platform, it can happen so much faster than anywhere else. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed, and you are not gonna get that result as fast if you don't put in the research. But the good news for you watching this video is that the bar for success on TikTok is very low, because your competitors, the people that are starting accounts at the same time as you in the same niche, aren't doing the research. It's the number one mistake that they're making. But you are a smart creator. You're watching this video, you're studying this video, and you're gonna go do it because it's the single most important thing to your success and to growing your account as quickly as possible. But step 5 is arguably as important as doing the research, and that's that you need to focus on the process, not the views. Everybody gets tired of hearing that advice of like,
You gotta be consistent. You gotta show up every day. You need to do blah, 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 blah.
but the reality is that you are more likely to be a successful creator and blow up on TikTok or any other platform if you show up every single day. So what I want to do for you is give you 2 things to focus on so you can be consistent and be successful. So what I want to do is give you a definition for consistency. And I want you to start judging your success as a creator on 2 things. The first is whether you showed up and you published a video today. You just need to get into the habit of checking off that box. If you can check that box off every day, then it has been a successful day. Doesn't even matter if it got 200 views. The second success habit is, did you take the time to do the research? Did you spend 10 minutes scrolling through your For You page and looking at your competitors' content to find outliers to develop good, proven ideas for your content? If you focus on doing the research every day and posting every single day, you are going to have a lot of success in this game. And a big part of that success is that you are going to avoid the emotional roller coaster of focusing on the views, because we are all going to be stuck at 200 views or 500 views or 1,000 views until we learn how to be a good creator and we finally break through. And even after you're established and you have viral videos, and you have million view videos and 100,000 view videos, and you're normally getting 30,000 every video, even when you reach that point, you're still going to have slumps where your content is going to drop and you're not going to get as many views. And so if you're focused on the views and you're riding that emotional roller coaster, it's going to be easy to get discouraged, and it's going to be easier to quit or to talk yourself into taking a day off. So establish that habit now and focus on the process. Step number 6, you need to make sure that you're posting the right types of content, especially if you are an educational creator. If all you're doing is posting the talking head, educational how-to tips video on your phone, you are not going to grow very fast. But if all you're doing is posting the 7-second trending videos, then you might get a lot of views and a lot of follower growth, but that may not necessarily convert into buyers. You need to have both types of content, and you need to understand that not every single video that you post on TikTok is meant to go viral. And this is a big component of what I call my ABCs of growing on TikTok. A is for the first type of content we want to create, which is all about building your audience. This type of content is meant to get big views and to get you discovered so people can watch your other content. These are your 7-second videos with the text on the screen and the trending audio, or your other short content that's less than a minute. And for this type of content, you want a strong text headline that prevents people from swiping past your content. And you want a great hook that pulls people in with curiosity or a pain point in the first 3 seconds of the video. That way they're more likely to stay. Finally, you want to take your content one step broader. And what I mean by this is focus on the basic 101 level class type stuff that you would be teaching people, because this is going to be more applicable to a larger group of people. For example, I have this video format that always worked well for me on TikTok, and it was like the 5 YouTubers that actually show you how to build a 7-figure online business. And eventually I changed that and I made it broader. I said 5 YouTubers that will actually show you how to escape the 9-to-5. And when I did that, it went from like 30,000 videos or something like that to 100,000 something videos, because I went broader. I made it more applicable to more people, so they were more interested in sticking around and watching a higher percentage of the video. So that's A, our first type of content. But B is what I call your bingeable content. These videos are not meant to go viral. They're meant to deliver enormous value to your repeat watchers. They're the videos that turn your viewers into loyal fans and followers and eventually buyers. This is where the longer than 1 minute kind of talking educational content, or like the more in-depth or more niche specific content, comes into play. And although these videos are likely only going to get 200, 300, maybe 500 views early on, as your account size grows, you're going to start seeing these videos become more effective. One, because you're going to be better at creating content and developing ideas and understanding the hooks and the topics that are working and getting viewers interested. But also just because you'll develop trust with the algorithm that you're a good creator, and your base level of views is going to go from 200 up to 1,000 or 2,000, and you're just going to get more views on that initial push eventually than you are right now as a new creator. Now, for this long form content, you don't need like a big call to action to click the link in your bio bio or to buy from you or anything like that. The best thing that you can do is to encourage people to engage and leave comments. You want to focus this content around the big problems that your clients have and that your viewers have, and you're going to learn a lot about that based on looking at like what are the proven viral ideas that are outliers for the other creators and are working for you, but also by looking at the comments. What are they saying? What are the stories they're telling you about the problems they're having? What are the questions that they're asking? Start building content around that. And every time you see the opportunity, do a video response to one of those comments, because that's going to get a lot more views than the standard video. And I can tell you from both on TikTok and on YouTube, when you are engaging and responding with your audience, they start to come back. They watch more of your videos. You start to get greater watch time, and your videos get pushed to a bigger and bigger audience, and it all starts to snowball. Now, I'm going to go into the C of our ABCs of growing on TikTok here in a second, but if you are interested in like really doing a deep dive and learning more about this, go ahead and check out this video. I'll leave it in the description for you. Step 7 is that you need to build your funnel. As I mentioned earlier, hitting 1,000 followers on TikTok is a huge milestone, and it's actually going to allow you to put a link inside of your bio. But this is also where your views and your followers really start to snowball. And so you want to make sure that you're prepared for that explosive growth and that you're able to generate leads and sales as soon as that link becomes available. So my recommendation is that when you get close to 1,000 followers, that you actually go get yourself a stand store. And the stand store is just a simple and affordable tool, so that way when somebody clicks on your link, it actually opens up a store natively inside of TikTok. And this is going to allow you to get people to book calls with you, so that way you can sell them into your programs or whatever other offers that you have. It's going to allow you to build your email list, and will even allow you to sell low ticket digital products if that's what you want to do. And if you're an affiliate marketer, you can link all of those offers there as well. Now, I've used all of the tools in the digital marketing world over the last 10 years, so all I'm going to say is this is what I recommend. If you want to use something else, go for it. It doesn't matter. But if you want to try out Stan and you want a 14-day free trial, I've got a link for you in the description. But this is important. When you build your Stan store or anything else you do with your link, it's important that you don't put too many offers inside of that link. The reason for this is that if you have too many offers, it creates offer confusion and people are less likely to take an action. So I usually recommend that people only use 2 or 3 things, and what I would do is put a link for somebody to book a call with you, some sort of ebook or digital download or training of some sort that people can get for free in exchange for an email address so you can start to build your list, and maybe even a low ticket digital product, but I wouldn't make it much more complicated than those 3 things. The next thing that you need to do is you need to start pinning videos on your profile and creating playlists. And the idea here is that you want to take your best bingeable content and make it easily accessible for anybody that discovers your profile. So whenever you post that viral growth content that gets 1 million eyeballs and all those people go back to your account, it's very easy for them to click those pinned videos in some of your recent videos and go down that binge bank watching all of your content, so that they're more likely to click on that link and book that call or join that list or buy that thing. Once you have all of this in place, it's time to double down on what's working. Start creating more videos using the topics and the formats that have worked the best for you in the past. Continue testing new ideas and formats based on the outlier content that other creators in your space are using. And most importantly, be patient. TikTok is unique in that you have a higher chance of going viral and growing an audience overnight than on any other platform. But it still usually takes longer than you think it is, and it takes a lot longer than the gurus are going to make it seem like. And before you have that big viral video, you're probably going to run into the biggest obstacle that we all run into as creators on TikTok. And that's getting stuck at 200 views. So to make sure that you know exactly what to do when you feel like you're stuck in 200 view jail, I want you to watch this video that explains why it happens and how to fix it.